This week is all about motherhood issues. I don't know if you guys know this, but one of my subspecialties after death and disease in society is the norms shaping motherhood in society from the 1800s until today. I've written numerous articles about it. I have a book that is available for free online, published through MIT Press. You can check it out. It's free for anybody because they want to help mothers. But I've been studying this and writing on this for a while, and yet I don't talk about it a lot in public. And here's the deal. I've talked a lot about how maternity is not as supported in America, how friends sort of have to bring you food because we don't have maternity leave. I myself got no maternity leave ever. And of course, that's quite different here. We get in Norway, you get a barselgruppe, and you have maternity leave. But that doesn't mean everything's perfect in Norway with motherhood. I hear this all the time, that it could be even better. And a lot of the responses to my videos are people saying, yeah, but it's not perfect here either. And I think it's our job as citizens to always push our societies to be better and better and better and never say it's enough, to just try to make everything as good as it can be for everyone. So I want to talk about that this week. I want to talk about the differences between America and Norway, but not always saying that Norway is perfect. A lot of my research on motherhood in the book that I showed you is about the way since the 1800s in both Norway and Britain, we've had this increasing insistence that a perfect mom makes a perfect family. And as mothers moved out of the house, they sort of then had, yeah, you get to work, but you also still have to be a perfect mom. And my most recent book about motherhood tracks this in digital spaces, the way places like Facebook have spaces for moms to talk with one another, but we end up just feeling more pressured than ever with data overload about how to be the most perfect mom. If you give them tablets and screens, you're giving them too much screen time. If you don't give them any screens, they're digitally illiterate and they are not going to be ahead with their peers. What I track is that every decision a mom makes, whether to amme eller bruke morsmelkerstatning, we hear from both sides to do this or this. This is perfect. No, this is perfect. Should we sleep with the baby to give them comfort? Should we let them sleep alone because we could kill them in their sleep? These debates I've published on this have been around since the Victorian era, and they've stayed pretty consistent. Science isn't exactly helping us figure out how to do this the right way. All we're really left with is the social pressures and norms that every mom feels to be perfect. And I don't know why I don't talk about this part of my research more here. I really don't know why, but it's a huge part of the way I see the world. And it's a really fun part of my research to talk about because everybody is a mom or had a mom. And even if you're a man, like if you have a partner, if you have kids, like you have moms in your vicinity, and these pressures affect all of us. This is a story for another day. Maybe I'll cover it later in the week. But I think the pressures we put on motherhood cause Munchausen by proxy, which you know I'm a survivor of. I think there are huge impacts to this if we don't address the way we're asking mothers to be these perfect people when, of course, nobody's perfect. So I really love talking about it because anybody you meet has something to say about motherhood or has felt these pressures. And I think we only get to a space of more safety and a better society through communicating about it. Some of my work has involved looking at advice manuals to mothers from the 1850s. Some of it has looked at digital advice on Facebook today, women sharing with each other. So I'm going to be covering this content all week in more topical modes, but if this is something of interest to you, I'll also be speaking on this in a panel with other women at the Feminist Hus i Trondheim on November 2nd. It's a Saturday at 3 o'clock. It's totally free. Just come if you have any ability to get there. I think there's people from Oslo coming up for it. It's a 2-hour panel. We're all going to talk about different aspects of motherhood. Juliana, that is one of the other speakers, she also runs Morskapssirkelen, which you can find out more about on Instagram if you would like. And she studies the historic norms of motherhood. So we're super excited to meet in person finally and combine our research and our perspectives as mothers. And after the event, we're all just going to go out to dinner and just like hang as moms. So low key, I get messages all the time, people asking to hang out with me. You can come to the talk and see what my academic work is more like, and also join us for dinner just for like stethoscope. I think that's one of the hugest things my research has shown me is that mothers are increasingly isolated in modern society, whereas historically mothers, it took a village, right? We had a community around women. So that's one thing that Juliana and I are both really passionate about, is rebuilding that community. So come, if you're curious, it's a free event. The book's free. You got to pay for your own dinner. That's not covered by anyone. I have to pay for my own dinner. Anyway, so yeah. But either way, we'll be covering these themes all week. And I think Juliana and I might be making some content together later as well.